Ever feel like life is just happening to you, caught in endless routines, reacting to challenges, and waiting for that moment when you finally feel in control? You're not alone. But here's the truth. Real freedom doesn't come from perfect circumstances or external success. It comes from within. The Stoics understood this deeply. To them, freedom wasn't about controlling the world. It was about mastering your thoughts, emotions, and actions. It's the kind of power that stays steady through chaos, setbacks, and the noise of outside opinions. In this video, we'll dive into timeless Stoic principles that can help you reclaim control of your life. From building mental strength and resilience to finding clarity, purpose, and even redefining your relationship with money, this is your guide to becoming the architect of your own life. If you're ready to stop drifting and start leading, hit subscribe to join the Stoic Code community. Let's master life together. Let's get started. 1. Taking charge of your life. The Stoic path to personal power. Have you ever felt like life is slipping through your fingers? Like you're a passenger on a journey you didn't choose, watching opportunities pass by while you wait for the right moment to take control? The truth is, you don't have to wait. The power to lead your life with purpose has always been yours. It just requires the right mindset. Stoicism teaches us that true strength comes from within. You don't need more money, better circumstances, or anyone's approval to start living with intention. What you need is the courage to see that every choice you make is shaping your future. The decisions you make today determine who you become tomorrow. So, where do you start? The first step is to stop making excuses. Life will always be unpredictable. There will always be obstacles, distractions, and challenges. But a Stoic doesn't wait for the perfect moment. Instead, they recognize that this moment, right now, is the perfect opportunity to begin. Ask yourself, what is within my control? The way you think, the actions you take, and the habits you build are entirely up to you. You don't have control over what others say or do, but you can control how you respond. That's where your power lies. Start small. Make your bed with purpose. Drink water and feel it fuel your body. Take 5 minutes in silence each morning to set your intentions. These may seem like simple actions, but they are declarations of self-mastery. They are reminders that you own your choices. Life isn't about waiting for circumstances to change. It's about you changing. And the moment you accept responsibility for your path, you step into a level of freedom most people never reach. Remember, you are not just another person going through the motions. You are the emperor of your own life. It's time to take the throne. 2. Mastering your mornings. How small wins lead to big victories. The way you start your morning has a ripple effect on your entire day. It's easy to overlook those first moments after you wake up, but they're crucial. Think about it. Have you ever started your day by snoozing the alarm, grabbing your phone, and scrolling aimlessly, only to feel scattered and unmotivated for the rest of the day? That's because your mind absorbs the tone you set first thing in the morning. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers and a Roman emperor, emphasized the importance of beginning each day with clarity and purpose. He believed that how you start shapes how you lead, work, and respond to life's inevitable challenges. But this isn't about crafting the perfect Instagram-worthy morning routine. It's about creating a simple, intentional structure that gives you momentum. It starts with small, deliberate actions, things that may seem insignificant but carry powerful psychological weight. Making your bed, for example, isn't just about tidiness. It's your first victory of the day, a signal to your mind that you are in control. Next, hydrate your body. After hours of sleep, your body craves fuel. Drinking water, tea, or coffee with intention, not mindlessly, is a way of honoring your physical self. It's a simple act, but it's a declaration. I take care of my vessel. Then, before you dive into the chaos of emails, notifications, and demands, take 5 minutes of complete stillness. No screens, no noise, just you and your thoughts. In those moments of silence, you're not reacting to the world, you're preparing to lead it. This simple practice, rooted in Stoic philosophy, strengthens your mental clarity and creates space for intentional thinking. Once you've grounded yourself, it's time to move. Your body has been still all night, and like a car sitting in the cold, it needs to warm up. This doesn't mean you need to hit the gym for an intense workout, unless you want to. A 20-minute walk, gentle stretching, or a short, energizing workout is enough. Movement shakes off the mental fog and tells your body, I'm ready to face the day. But mornings aren't just about the body, they're about the mind too. Dedicate time to nourish your intellect. Read something that challenges your thinking. Write down your thoughts, goals, or reflections. Even 20 minutes spent journaling or reading a book rooted in philosophy, creativity, or personal growth can sharpen your mind and set a powerful tone. Finally, plan your day, not just your to-do list, but your intentions. What matters most today? What's one thing that, if accomplished, would make the day feel meaningful? Stoicism teaches us that without direction, we drift. Planning is your anchor. The beauty of this approach is that it builds momentum. One small win leads to another. You're not just reacting to the day, you're leading it. And over time, this creates a life of intention, strength, and purpose. So tomorrow morning, before the world rushes in, take a moment to lead yourself first. And if you're ready to go deeper into mastering your mind and life, hit subscribe to the Stoic Code. This is just the beginning. 3. Time. Mastery. From chaos to control. Time is the most precious resource we have, yet it's the one we waste the most. We constantly say things like, there's not enough time in the day, or I wish I had more hours. But the truth is, it's not about having more time, it's about mastering the time we already have. The Stoics understood this deeply. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." And that couldn't be more relevant today, in a world where endless notifications, social media, and distractions constantly pull us away from what truly matters. So, how do you stop time from slipping through your fingers? The first step is awareness. Most of us move through our days on autopilot, checking emails, responding to texts, scrolling endlessly, without even realizing how much time we're losing. Conducting a time audit can be eye-opening. Track everything you do for 1 week, every task, every scroll, every conversation. You'll quickly see where your time is leaking. Are you spending hours reacting to other people's demands? Are you losing entire evenings to mindless scrolling? Once you know where your time is going, you can start to take it back. The next step is learning to work with your natural energy rhythms. Are you most alert in the morning? Or do you hit your creative peak in the late afternoon? Align your most important tasks with your high-energy windows. There's no point in forcing yourself to do deep work when your brain feels foggy. Instead, use those times for lighter tasks, saving your peak hours for what truly moves the needle. This simple shift can double your productivity without increasing your workload. Then there's the power of time blocking, treating your calendar as sacred ground. Block out time for your most important work and guard it fiercely. Don't let random meetings or spontaneous requests invade that time. Protect it as you would any valuable asset. Because here's the hard truth. Your time is your most valuable asset. Money can be earned back. Energy can be replenished. but time, once spent, is gone forever. And let's talk about distractions. In the modern world, our devices are like sirens, constantly calling us away from what's important. The Stoics would have seen this as a major threat to self-mastery. So create technology-free zones in your day, whether it's the first hour after you wake up, during meals, or the hour before bed. These pockets of focus aren't just about reducing screen time, they're about reclaiming your attention. But it's not just about cutting out distractions, it's about filling your time with what matters. What are your deepest goals? What projects light you up? When you're clear about what you want, it becomes easier to say no to what doesn't serve that vision. Seneca reminds us, people are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful. Don't be careless with your hours. Finally, remember that time mastery isn't about cramming your schedule with more tasks. It's about creating space to think, to reflect, to rest. The Stoics didn't see stillness as laziness. They saw it as a vital part of wisdom. So, schedule downtime with as much intention as you schedule work. Give yourself room to breathe, create, and simply be. Mastering your time is mastering your life. It's the difference between reacting to your days and intentionally shaping them. So, take control. Start small. Audit your time. Block your priorities. Protect your focus. And watch how much more freedom you gain. Not just in your schedule, but in your entire life. The power of negative visualization, turning fear into fuel. Most people run from their fears. They avoid thinking about worst-case scenarios, hoping that if they ignore them long enough, they'll never happen. But the Stoics had a radically different approach. They leaned into their fears using a practice called negative visualization. At first glance, it might sound pessimistic or even depressing, but in reality, it's one of the most powerful tools for building resilience, reducing anxiety, and preparing for life's inevitable curveballs. So, what exactly is negative visualization? It's the intentional practice of imagining the worst possible outcomes, not to dwell on them, but to prepare for them. Seneca famously advised, "He robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand." By mentally rehearsing potential challenges, you reduce their emotional sting and strengthen your ability to handle them if they ever occur. Think about it like this. Athletes don't just train for the perfect game. They practice for setbacks. They visualize missed shots, injuries, or tough opponents so that when the pressure's on, they're not rattled. Life works the same way. When you've already mentally walked through your biggest fears, they lose their grip on you. Let's say you fear losing your job. Instead of letting that fear lurk in the background, confront it head-on. Imagine the scenario. You get the notice. The panic hits. Then what? How would you survive the next month? Who could you lean on? What skills could you tap into? As you play this out, you'll likely realize two things. One, it's not as earth-shattering as your mind made it out to be. And two, you now have a rough game plan if it ever happens. That's power. That's control. But negative visualization isn't just about preparing for disaster. It's also a gratitude amplifier. When you regularly reflect on what life would be like without the things you cherish, your health, your family, your freedoms, you naturally appreciate them more deeply. Marcus Aurelius practiced this daily. He would remind himself that the people he loved could be gone tomorrow, not to fall into despair, but to fully savor the present moment. This mindset turns ordinary moments into extraordinary ones. Suddenly, that morning coffee isn't just coffee. It's a small, fleeting joy. And here's where it gets really transformative. When you stop fearing loss, you start taking bolder action. Fear of failure holds so many people back, but when you've already mentally faced that failure and survived it, what's left to stop you? Negative visualization becomes a kind of armor, not to block you from pain, but to make you stronger in the face of it. This practice also strips away the illusion of permanence. We often cling to things, our jobs, our relationships, our possessions, as if they'll last forever. But the Stoics remind us that everything is temporary. This isn't a reason to despair, it's a reason to live fully. When you understand that every moment is fragile, you stop taking it for granted. So how do you practice negative visualization? It's simple. Set aside a few minutes each day, maybe during your morning routine or before bed, and walk through a what-if scenario. What if I lost my job? What if I got sick? What if this opportunity didn't work out? Don't dwell in the fear. Just walk through it calmly, logically, and then bring your mind back to the present with fresh gratitude for what's still intact. The result? You become less anxious, more grounded, and far more resilient. You realize that you can handle more than you think, and in a world filled with uncertainty, that's a kind of superpower. 5. Embracing amor fati, loving your fate no matter what. Imagine if every setback, every failure, and every twist of fate wasn't just something to endure, but something to embrace. Sounds impossible, right? But that's exactly what the Stoics aimed for with the principle of amor fati, which translates to love of one's fate. It's not about passive acceptance or pretending everything is perfect. It's about fully embracing life's highs and lows as essential pieces of your personal journey. Friedrich Nietzsche later popularized the phrase, but its roots are deeply Stoic. Think of Marcus Aurelius, who faced endless political turmoil, personal loss, and constant pressure as emperor, yet still wrote, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." In other words, life will throw chaos, pain, and unexpected challenges your way. But if you adopt the mindset of amor fati, you don't just tolerate these events, you use them as fuel. Here's the thing, most of us fight reality. We resist what happens to us, wishing things had gone differently. If only I had gotten that job. If only that relationship hadn't ended. But that resistance creates suffering. The Stoics recognized a core truth. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond. Amor fati takes it a step further. It's not just about controlling your reaction. It's about finding value in the experience itself. Let's break it down with a real-world example. Say you lose a big client at work. The knee-jerk reaction, frustration, disappointment, maybe even self-doubt. But through the lens of amor fati, you pause and ask, what can I learn from this? How can this setback push me to improve? Maybe it forces you to sharpen your skills, explore new opportunities, or build resilience you didn't know you had. Suddenly, it's not a failure, it's fuel. This mindset also frees you from the constant tug-of-war between what should be and what is. Life stops feeling like a battle against reality and starts feeling like a partnership with it. Even the worst moments, the heartbreaks, the job losses, the personal failures, become chapters in your story that serve a purpose. You're not just surviving them, you're growing because of them. But amor fati isn't about toxic positivity. It doesn't mean you have to like every bad thing that happens. It means you recognize that every experience, good or bad, shapes who you are. And with that realization, even life's toughest moments lose their sting. So how do you cultivate amor fati in your daily life? Start small. Next time something annoying or frustrating happens, like missing a train or getting stuck in traffic, pause and say to yourself, this too is part of the plan. Instead of seeing it as an obstacle, see it as a moment that could lead somewhere unexpected. With practice, you'll be able to apply this to bigger challenges, career setbacks, personal losses, even failures. And here's the ultimate takeaway. When you stop resisting life and start loving it, every messy, unpredictable part, you become unstoppable. Nothing can break you because everything is fuel. The power of memento mori, remembering your mortality to live fully. There's a Latin phrase that's both haunting and empowering. Memento mori, remember that you must die. At first glance it might sound morbid or depressing, but to the Stoics it was the ultimate call to live with urgency, purpose, and clarity. Think about it. How often do we move through life on autopilot, assuming there's always more time? We delay our dreams, postpone difficult conversations, and put off what really matters, thinking, I'll get to it tomorrow. But tomorrow isn't guaranteed. The Stoics used memento mori as a daily reminder that life is fleeting, not to instill fear, but to inspire action. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, wrote in Meditations, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." It's not about being obsessed with death. It's about being hyper-aware of life's fragility so that you don't waste a second of it. Let's make this real. Imagine holding an hourglass, the sand slipping steadily from top to bottom. You can't flip it. You don't know how much sand is left. That's life. Every moment that passes is gone forever. The Stoics believed that when you fully grasp this truth, procrastination dies, petty arguments lose their grip, trivial worries fade. Memento mori sharpens your focus. It forces you to ask, if today was my last, would I be proud of how I'm spending it? And that doesn't mean you need to be climbing mountains or writing novels every day. Sometimes the most meaningful moments are the simple ones. Having an honest conversation, spending time with loved ones, or even just being fully present in a quiet moment. But there's another layer here. Memento mori isn't just about how you live. It's also about how you deal with fear. Fear of failure, fear of embarrassment, fear of taking risks. When you accept that death is inevitable, those fears shrink. Suddenly, the idea of starting that business, ending that toxic relationship, or speaking your truth doesn't seem so terrifying. Because in the grand scheme of things, what's the real risk? The Stoics even practiced visualizing their own deaths, not to wallow in darkness, but to strengthen their resolve. Seneca put it beautifully. Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day. The one who puts the finishing touches on their life each day is never short of time. So, how can you bring memento mori into your daily life? It's simple but powerful. Reflect daily. Take a moment each morning or night to remind yourself of life's fragility. Ask, am I living in alignment with what truly matters? Stop sweating the small stuff. Will that minor annoyance matter a year from now? Probably not. Let it go. Pursue what sets your soul on fire. The clock is ticking. Don't waste it on things that drain you. When you live with death in mind, life gains color, depth, and urgency. You stop floating through your days and start owning them. Stoicism isn't just some ancient philosophy locked away in dusty scrolls. It's a living, breathing guide to mastering your mind, controlling your emotions, and building a life of true purpose. It's about becoming unshakable in the face of chaos, grounded in the midst of uncertainty, and focused on what really matters. When you apply the Stoic code, focusing on what you can control, accepting what you can't, practicing gratitude, embracing discomfort, and remembering the power of memento mori, you step into a version of yourself that's calm, resilient, and unstoppable. Life will always throw curveballs. You'll face setbacks, disappointments, and moments of doubt. But Stoicism gives you the tools to stand firm, to see obstacles not as roadblocks, but as stepping stones, and to turn every challenge into an opportunity for growth. Marcus Aurelius said it best. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That's the heart of Stoicism. It's not about controlling the world, it's about mastering yourself. And when you do that, you become truly free. So take these teachings and don't just think about them, live them. When you wake up tomorrow, approach the day with intention. When you face challenges, meet them with courage. And when life feels overwhelming, pause and remember, you control your response. That's your superpower. If this journey into Stoic wisdom has sparked something within you, don't stop here. Hit subscribe to the Stoic Code channel and dive deeper into the mindset that's transformed lives for over 2,000 years. Remember, the path to a stronger, wiser, and more resilient you starts with a single step, and you've already taken it. Stay grounded, stay present, and live by the code.